Bills Mafia, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's exclusive breaking story, let me remind you of something important. This Buffalo Bills team is fighting every single day to improve, to sharpen their craft, and to bring the results this fan base has dreamed of for decades. The work, the preparation, the discipline, it's all building toward one thing: a shot at that Lombardi trophy. So right now, before we go any further, smash that like button to support the channel, and if you're new here, subscribe for the most complete Bills coverage anywhere on YouTube. Alright, let's get into it. By the way, Bills fans, if you want official Buffalo Bills gear, jerseys, hats, or the new Sideline pieces, I left the link to the official store below. It helps the channel and keeps you geared up for the season. Because today, Bills fans, we finally have some good news heading into Sunday's wildcard showdown in Jacksonville. Let's set the stage. Your Buffalo Bills finished the 2025 regular season at 12-5, earning the number 6 seed, setting up a massive playoff collision with Trevor Lawrence and the red-hot Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Allen, the reigning MVP, has been absolute solid again this year. 3,668 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 579 rushing yards, 14 rushing touchdowns. That's 39 total touchdowns from number 17, even while carrying a roster that has been absolutely hammered by injuries, especially to his pass catchers. And that leads us to the biggest concern this week, in the surprisingly good news that dropped just hours ago. For 2 straight days, Wednesday and Thursday, star tight end Dalton Kincaid appeared on the injury report as limited with a knee issue. This is the same knee that's forced him to miss time throughout the season. And yet, despite playing in only 12 games, Kincaid is second on the team in receptions, 39, second in receiving yards, 571, and first in receiving touchdowns, 5. He's Josh Allen's most reliable chain mover, his most trusted weapon, and honestly, one of the best young tight ends in the NFL. If he couldn't go against the Jaguars, that would have been a gut punch. But Bills Mafia, we finally caught a break. Head coach Sean McDermott announced today that barring something unexpected, Dalton Kincaid will not carry an injury designation. Translation: he's good to go, he's playing, and that is massive. Don't forget, before the season, Josh Allen himself said this: "All I'm going to say is he's an absolute stud. I love having him out there. I love throwing to him. He's an easy guy to throw to, and he puts his body on the line each and every game." You can hear the admiration. You can feel the trust. Allen plus Kincaid equals one of the most dangerous connections in the league. And guess what? They'll need every bit of it, because Jacksonville comes into this matchup riding an 8-game winning streak. Let's talk matchups. The Jaguars have a scary pass rush, a fast defensive front, and a ton of momentum, but their pass defense, not elite. They rank 21st in passing yards allowed per game, 218.1, 8th in points allowed, 19.8. Solid, but vulnerable, especially against tight ends. And when you combine that with Josh Allen's playoff production, the best per-game touchdown rate in NFL history among QBs with 10-plus starts, this offense has a real chance to make noise. Getting Kincaid back is not just helpful, it's potentially game-changing. While the offense gets a boost, the Bills' defense takes a real hit. Sean McDermott confirmed today that 3 players have already been ruled out: CB Maxwell Hairston, LB Terrell Bernard, and CD Damar Hamlin, still on IR. We need to talk about Maxwell Hairston because this one stings. The first-round rookie has been one of the brightest developments on this defense. His speed, his instincts, his aggressiveness, they've brought a spark to Buffalo's secondary we haven't seen in years. Over 11 games, Hairston has 18 tackles, 2 interceptions, over 340 defensive snaps, and he picked those interceptions in back-to-back weeks against Kansas City and Miami, 2 of the toughest offenses in football. The kid was playing his best ball at the perfect time. But late in last week's regular season finale against the Jets, Hairston suffered an ankle injury and missed the final 5 defensive snaps. McDermott said on Monday he was unlikely to play. Today, it became official. He's out. Buffalo had only 3 true boundary corners on the roster heading into Week 18. Christian Benford, Trey Davius-White, and Maxwell Hairston. They managed to rest Benford last week. They depended heavily on White, who played all 48 snaps, and now, without Hairston, depth becomes a real issue. To counter, Buffalo signed Dane Jackson from the practice squad to the active roster and brought back rookie Darrell Porter Jr. to the practice squad. It's not ideal, it's not comfortable, but it's necessary, because Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, and Evan Engram are coming, and they're bringing speed, spacing, and matchup problems. Buffalo's secondary will need to play disciplined football to survive this stretch. Bills Mafia, here's the truth. This team has battled injuries all season long. They've had to adjust, to improvise, to reinvent themselves. And yet, here they are, 12 wins, a playoff spot, a chance. Josh Allen is at the center of it. Dalton Kincaid is ready to go. The offense has its weapons. The defense, even down a rookie, still has enough experience, coaching, and toughness to stand tall. This game is not about being perfect. It's about making the plays that matter. And Sunday at 1 p.m. ET on CBS, the Bills get their shot. Bills Mafia, our starting kicker, Matt Prater, the 41-year-old veteran with one of the biggest legs in NFL history, missed practice Friday, the very last session before Buffalo heads to Jacksonville. When that news first hit social media this morning, every Bills fan felt that little punch to the chest. Because let's be honest, a playoff game can absolutely be decided by one kick, one moment, one kick under pressure, and Prater, for all his experience, has been battling a quad injury that cost him 2 games leading up to the regular season finale. He tried to push through the pain against the Jets, tried to be there for his team, but after a setback, the team pulled him at halftime. You could tell something wasn't right, and today's DNP did not practice, had fans rightfully worried. But here's where things get interesting. During his weekly appearance on WGR 550's Extra Point Show, Sean McDermott gave some clarity, and it wasn't all doom and gloom. McDermott said Prater missing Friday's session actually wasn't unusual for a kicker, especially in the later portion of the week. Kickers often have different practice rhythms, and considering Prater's age and the injury he's managing, the team is being cautious. Now, cautious doesn't mean confident, but it also doesn't mean panic. The key takeaway here is that the Bills' coaching staff expected this, they planned around it, and they don't seem to be in full alarm mode yet. But of course, the playoffs aren't the regular season. You only get one chance, one shot. If Prater isn't truly ready, the Bills absolutely cannot risk going into Jacksonville unprepared. Which brings us to the next part of the story. 2 kickers join the team this week.
Matthew Wright signed to the practice squad. Maddox Trujillo signed to a reserve/futures contract. But let's be clear, the immediate name to watch is Matthew Wright. If Prater can't go someday, Wright will be the one stepping onto that field. No hesitation, no tryout. He would be the kicker in a playoff game against Trevor Lawrence and a Jaguars team hungry to advance. And here's the thing, Matthew Wright is not some random emergency leg. The dude is reliable. Matthew Wright career stats: 88.2% field goal accuracy, 95.7% extra point accuracy, 6 years in the league, experience kicking under pressure. In Bills Mafia, you may remember, Wright once hit 3 50-yard field goals in the same game. The man can handle the moment. But yes, Wright is not Prater. Prater is the NFL's all-time leader in 50-plus yard field goals. He changes how defenses play on 4th down. He changes how coordinators call the game. He changes field position strategy. So if he can't go, it's a real impact. Let's be very honest here. This playoff game could come down to the kicker position. The Jaguars have been playing their best football of the season. Their defense is tough, their offense can score in bunches, and Jacksonville is not an easy place to kick, especially in January. Humid air, swirling winds, unpredictable footing. A less experienced kicker can absolutely feel that pressure. And with the Bills' offense still dealing with injuries, including Dalton Kincaid working through a knee issue earlier this week, Buffalo needs every advantage it can get. The margin for error shrinks in the postseason. Every missed point matters. Every extra point matters. Every kickoff matters. That's why this Prater situation suddenly became so important. If Prater's ready, Buffalo gets one of the most dependable long-range kickers in NFL history. If he's not, Matthew Wright has to step into possibly the biggest moment of his career. You can tell the locker room respects Prater. Veterans trust veterans, and kickers, especially older ones, often get rest days. But at the same time, you need to know your kicker is fully healthy heading into a playoff war. McDermott doesn't play games when it comes to injuries. He chooses availability over reputation every time. So if he says this is not unusual, he means it. But the Bills signing 2 kickers this week? That tells us they want a safety net. They want a plan B ready to go. And honestly, that's just smart football. All right, Bills fans, I want to hear from you in the comments. How big is Kincaid's return for this offense? Are you worried about losing Maxwell Harston for this matchup? Do you feel confident going into Jacksonville, or does their winning streak concern you? And how far do you think Buffalo goes this postseason? Drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. Before you head out, don't forget, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other Bills fans. Official Buffalo Bills gear, new drops and exclusive items, all in the link below. Check it out, Bills Mafia. This community is growing fast, and you're a huge part of it. Thanks for watching, Bills Mafia. And as always, go Bills.